that we just didn't record everything, and we should have, and we missed out on such good Shedeur content.
Don't even say the word. Don't say that name around me, okay?
No.
Don't. Don't.
Oh my gosh.
Because if you say the trigger words, Hunter, Travis, Travis Hunter, whatever direction you want
Travis
to put
Hunter.
it.
Travis
I know it's
Hunter.
Travis Hunter, but let's be real. Like, people have said every word. Travis Hunter, you say Edwards, you say Shedeur, you say Sanders, you say Colorado, you say Buffaloes. Don't say those words. They're trigger words for me. I want to go to that game so bad.
Me too.
Tickets are ridiculous now because, first of all, okay, we have to talk about it now. We have to talk about it. We have 10 minutes of this. Let's just get it over with, okay? Because it's been on my mind before the game, okay? Before TCU, during TCU, and now here after TCU. I still have to say something. And it's the fact that people do not see with their eyes and use that to process things logically. If you know Deion Sanders, he has been a professional player. First of all, played 4 years in college, then became a pro, 14 years, now coaching for I don't even know how many years. I didn't look it up. But I'm sure he did Pee Wee, was it? Because he had these guys since they were younger. So he was going with boys from when they were like kids to now being D1 athletes and has been coaching them forever. And then he goes into new teams, Jackson State. Like, how do you not see that this man can take nothing and make it into something great? And you think he's not going to do that at Colorado just because what? It's Pac-12? Ooh, scary. Okay, so what if you're Pac-12? You and I both know, Kiara. We were at Northwestern University. Some of these boys, I'm not going to name names, but I know you thought about who it was. You thought about a couple people who I'm talking about who should not have been D1 athletes. And they're in a D1 Big Ten team. And they're playing, they're getting field time, they're out there, they're messing up game after game after game. We're sitting there on the sidelines, we're sitting there at our homes watching our TVs, and we're like, what is going on? What is going on? But you have Deion Sanders. Is it just because he's black? Like, obviously my camera hates me because I was on a roll and it cuts. But what I was saying is,
Your camera's anti-black.
because
You
they're
were making a point
anti-black.
about Deion Sanders, and it
No,
was like, nope,
literally.
don't want to
Nope.
hear it.
Mm-mm. It didn't even want to. It didn't want to because honestly, but it's so true. It's like it has to be because he's black. It has to be because he's giving these black kids a chance because he's taking people and he's doing what I wanted to do at Northwestern, but I just don't have credentials, okay? I'm not a coach. I haven't played football. I don't know enough about the sport. He's a head coach, but he has everything he needs. And he went in there and he did exactly as he should have done. I don't think he should have done anything differently. Go into Colorado. Look at all these boys in the face. Did you see the video of when he first met the team? The original team, the one that was
The Louis
that
video,
hadn't won in 20 years? What Louis video?
when he was like, oh, I'm bringing my luggage
Oh
with
yeah.
me, and it's
Yeah.
Louis.
Yes, 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 yes. Kiara, when I tell you, I saw fear in some of these boys' eyes, but then some of the boys, you see like a fire. They're just not saying anything, but they didn't want anybody to know. But let me tell you, when you have people who are passionate, who are driven, who want success, who are hungry for success, you have no room for slackers on a team at all.
No,
You can't
that's
you can't
they
make
had to
room.
go. So many of them.
Had
If
to.
you have a 1-11 team, it's not just all coaching. Like, a lot of that, unfortunately, respectfully to those guys, is just a talent gap. They had to
That's all
go.
it is. They had to go. And he did exactly what he did. He came in with the broom and he swept the dust out. And now he's starting fresh and clean for spring. Not spring. Well, fall. But you know what I mean. Spring cleaning. Get them out.
I get
Start
what you
over.
mean.
Bring your luggage. Unpack them because you know they're going to work because you know they want to succeed. You know they want success. I think that this needs to happen with every 1-11 team, consistent 1-11 team. Let's say even 10-2 team or 2-10 teams. Because honestly, losers will never make winners. And then you don't attract winners to the team.
No, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It just gets worse and worse and worse. And
It's a
that's like
negative
the issue
cycle.
with Northwestern, is that, like, there's no vision to improve the program, and they were so bad for too long and gave coaches too much latitude to turn it around that now it's like the state of the program is irreparable.
It's insane. You're right. Completely right. And I wish that somebody like him, if Dion went to Northwestern, did what he did, brought the people he brought, do you know how many people would be so ecstatic who are Northwestern fans? But there aren't even that
Honestly,
many because honestly, we don't have a fan base.
I have to disagree with you there. I think Northwestern fans, like the average Northwestern fan, is like a coastal progressive elite and wants a certain palatable kind of black head coach and would
Mm,
really like have a strong aversion to the kind of person that Deion Sanders is. Even though he's not a bad person. He's just
true.
very vocal, he's forward, he's confident, he's bold, he says what he thinks, and they would much rather someone who's like very buttoned up and goes very by the book. Like we like to call ourselves like a white collar school with a blue collar mentality. Northwestern's mentality is very white collar. I don't think the average Northwestern fan would take kindly like the students today. Sure. Students who graduated in the last 5 years, probably most of them, but the alumni who have, are in their 40s up, probably would not like Deion Sanders very much. To their detriment. And that's why the program like stinks
True.
right now, is because
True.
they want to win in a certain way that is not conducive to success at this point.
No, it doesn't foster winners. It doesn't foster success. They have no idea how to be successful in sports. Northwestern is a great academic institution, but they need help when it comes to athletics. And I wish,
Men's athletics specifically. The women are
yes.
crushing it at
Oh,
Northwestern.
girl power. Honestly, like they're great. They are great.
It's just the
But there's
guys who
something
are
about
lagging
it.
behind.
There's something about it. So, yeah, anyway, I see your point. I kind of agree with you. The old alumni would not be as welcoming to him. And it's so sad because honestly, it's so necessary. And I think that there are guys on that team right now and some in our recent past when we were equipment managers there who would have loved for him to be there, who would have worked hard. But do I think that everyone would have made the cut? No. But that's okay. I think that's a factor of life. It's something you learn. It's like some people you can work your way to success. Other people, it's just not your path. And you need a reality check. Stop getting that participation trophy and just get told, hey, you're
Yeah.
a loser and it is what it is. But
Yeah, you gotta be
it's not a
honest with
bad
people,
thing. You
rip off
have
the
to be
band-aid.
honest. Because if you're trying to play D1 and you look like D2, D3, what are we doing? It's embarrassing, okay? And I'm not just talking about Northwestern here at this point, okay? I'm talking about anybody that's in a D1 program that looks like they don't belong. What he showed is that there are people out there at HBCUs, at FCS schools who can come in and literally change everything and change the
And
entire flow of the game and make everything just exciting and fun. And sitting and watching that game, my heart was pounding. I had no idea. Like, I can't even say I had no idea who was going to win because as soon as I heard it was Deion Sanders' team, I knew he was going to win. But I loved the fact that it was challenging. I loved the fact that it hooked your attention and it held on and it inspired you. It inspired me. I changed my whole lifestyle after that game. I'm sitting here like pushing myself for success because it's like, what am I
we're out
doing
here
sitting
like
down?
looking for flights to Boulder, Colorado, Airbnbs. Like, we're trying
Literally.
to be part of like whatever it is that they've got going on there.
Put me in, coach. I'll be in the
Yeah,
weight room. I'll be
listen,
up at 4 in the morning, working out, waiting. Put me in. I have a strong leg. I'll kick for you, Dion. I will.
I
I
will
don't
manage
even
for
care.
him.
I literally would. I would be an equipment manager in a heartbeat for that team.
I am embarrassed by how many times I watched that pregame speech. It was so freaking good.
It was so
So
good.
good.
You even
Like,
sent it to me. Kiara, for everyone listening, Kiara sent me the video. It was my third time that I had watched it, and then I watched it again just because she sent it.
yeah, especially the music behind it. Like, I think one of his sons runs his social media and he's doing a phenomenal job.
Wow, I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, like I mean, he's built an incredible culture. Usually, when people bring in people that they're related to, it makes things worse, right? Like the nepo baby effect.
Right.
He is bringing in people who are related to him, and there's just something about being in the presence of Dion that just makes everybody excellent. So even though they're related to him, they're all like the best at what they do anyway. And
Right.
he got criticism for bringing in his son and making his son the starting QB. Like, jokes on you. But
Joke's
they
on you.
believe now. They didn't believe then. I mean, I always believed.
No, no, no. They don't believe. People are still throwing out criticism. People are still saying, come Nebraska this weekend. You know, who knows? TCU was just the first game. It was just game one. It was luck. And it's like,
They
do you
like no
realize that
returning
TCU was
starters.
ranked?
Sure.
I mean, mind you, we can't look at the rankings now, okay? Because, of course, you
They're
had Duke and
meaningless.
Clemson, and Duke shattered Clemson. That was nothing. It was like nothing. They won so easy in terms of like the highlights I saw because I was up in the sky when the game was happening, so I couldn't get
You
the
were
game.
flying.
Yes, sadly, I was so mad. But when I came
Well,
back and I saw the
you didn't really
score,
miss much though. Unless you're rooting for Duke, who's coming in to play Northwestern in a couple weeks. It's gonna be ugly.
yeah, wow, tire fire waiting to happen. But I just say the rankings aren't trustworthy. We can't look at them anymore. But I don't think that the performance that we saw with Colorado, I mean, you saw them perform. You saw the interceptions. You saw the passing yards. You saw the chemistry. How can you
Hmm.
say that that's luck? That is training. That's grit. Okay? That is just complete effort dialed focus. That is going into their performance. That is not luck.
Their
So
conditioning was exceptional too.
say what you want to say, do what you want to do. And if you don't believe at this point, that's on you for being blind. Because you know what? Just save it. Put your money in everybody else, put your time in everyone else. But when you see them climb up those ranks, and it doesn't even have to be this year, okay? It could be next year too. I don't care. They're a great team. He already pulled Colorado out of the gutter. He did
They
exactly
already
what he
matched
came
their
to
win
do.
total from last year.
Come on. Like, come on. This is ridiculous to me how these people are sitting up here on media too, not like on the news talking about it. You are embarrassing yourself because if you didn't see the same game we all saw. You
No,
didn't.
not
You
at all.
didn't.
I mean, it's yes, technically first game of the season, but it was a decisive win. Personally, like I would much rather them play with the chip on their shoulder.
Mhm.
Like I want them to get disrespected in the polls. That way they have that like extra edge and extra momentum, and extra motivation. And not that players necessarily need it, but it's just like I feel like that's the character of their team. Like they thrive off of the haters and the doubters.
They do. And I'm so glad that they do. You have teams like Alabama. Their first game was MTSU, and they're highlighting Alabama like they did something
Alabama was
spectacular.
boring.
And it's like that game was nothing because MTSU, I'm sorry, love you, Tennessee. I'm here with you. But you're not a great team. You're not, it was an easy win. You're sitting here with an unranked team beating TCU, a ranked team who was in the Nationals last year. You're kidding me. And then you want to say it's luck. But then Alabama did such a great job because they beat MTSU. It's so spectacular. No,
Or like
get over
Oklahoma dropped
yourselves.
like 81. Like they dropped 81 on a team that they should have dropped 81 points on.
Yeah, crazy. Go figure. Just shut up until Saturday. I like not you, not you, but everybody else. Shut up until Saturday. See what happens. Be surprised and keep being surprised if that's what you want to do because I'm not going to be surprised anymore because I know what's going to happen. And I know it's Deion Sanders season.
It
It's
is.
Shedeur
Some
Sanders season.
it really is.
It's
Like there's
Travis Hunter
certain
season.
it is Travis. It's Dylan Edwards season. It's all of
All
them.
their season. Anybody on Colorado, it's your season. And go
It
make
is.
it your season and prove everybody wrong. Just keep doing it because it is so fun to see when people lose and people's opinions are right.
There are certain college football teams or moments that just bring you on like a magical run. I think about I don't know if you watched college football back then, but when Auburn beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl in 2013, that was one of those like miracle seasons. They had like multiple like miraculous one in a billion moments and one in a billion plays that happened on the field for them. It's early, but I think that could be Colorado. I really think it could be, especially
I
just
do too.
you have like so many Heisman contenders just on one side of the ball. Like three on one side of the ball on one team, or in Travis Hunter's case, both sides, which is insane.
Insane. And it's not insane because many HBCUs actually have players that play both sides, but people in the big leagues have not seen it. Why?
No,
Because
it's like
nobody
Shohei
puts that out.
Ohtani, and like there theoretically could there be more players like him if they were allowed to? Sure, but like he went to the one place where they would allow him to be who he is, a pitcher and an outstanding hitter, and because of that, now we get to all witness the like brilliance and greatness that is him as a player. So that like it goes back to having coaches who have vision, who are smart, who are willing to be risk takers and give guys those opportunities to shine
Right. Right.
and put them in a position to win.
And that's
And
Dion.
Colorado, like that's Coach Prime.
That's Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
I got
I really
excited.
love him.
Me too. Okay. I think we're at a good stopping point. Let's end there
13
with the
minutes.
Colorado. Let's end there
Let's
with
end
Colorado
there.
because we could talk the whole time about them. We know, but
We
that's what
promised
I
that
have
we
to
were
say.
not a sports podcast, and I feel like we're breaking that promise.
But you know what? This is a podcast about the things that we're interested in. And it just so happens that we're very interested in this progress with Colorado and
Yeah,
college football as a whole. So I'm looking forward to this season. I love that the rankings are being shaken up. I love that Colorado's coming up. I love that we see teams now that we haven't seen before. I'm looking at USC, Southern
Colorado
California,
USC.
Trojans. I am excited. I cannot wait to see them play. I want, I just, I'm excited for the first time in a long time about college football. I was excited when I was in it, of course, because you're a participant in some way, but now being outside, I was like, man, it's going to be dead, and it's not. Keep it
No, it's
up.
not.
I'm looking, I'm watching, and this goes for all teams. Do your best, do your worst, blow it up, make changes, make plays. I don't care. Just do something spectacular and I'll be there to soak it in. I want it. I
Just
want the
make it
challenge.
entertaining. I want to be
Yes.
entertained. Like
I want to see something
the
I haven't seen.
the beauty of like Northwestern is probably going to be real bad this year. But there's freedom in that I don't have to like watch a boring brand of football thinking they might win. I can change the channel and I can go watch a really competitive engaging game because like I already know the outcome. Even if they make it interesting, they're going to lose anyway. And
Hmm.
if they win, it's going to be boring.
Right.
So now I can actually like be a college football fan. Like I am unshackled from the suffering that so many Northwestern fans have.
Right.
Thank you, Coach Prime.
Thank you, Coach Prime. We love you. We respect you. We don't love you because we don't know you, but we respect the heck out of
Yeah.
you. And we love what you're doing with the program because it was necessary and it's something that we've seen and we wished it happened at our institution, but it won't. It's fine.
Last
We just
thing, I
keep it up.
think it creates so many, hopefully,
Mhm.
creates so many opportunities for other Black coaches who, like I mentioned earlier, might otherwise feel pressured to conform to a certain brand of coaching for football, like the Nick Saban sort of brand. I mean, even like guys like Lane Kiffin are a little more eccentric, but not as out there with their personalities as Dion. I hope it gives Black coaches more opportunities, or coaches in general, more opportunities to just show more personality and character. Because honestly, it's not sports entertainment like wrestling, but it is sports and it's supposed to be entertaining. So like, give me something to watch.
Right. I agree. Give me something to watch. That's all it is. And I'm watching. He's got my attention. I'm
I'm
hooked.
like, I am steeped in Colorado content. All my YouTube recommendations are Colorado because all the guys have their YouTube channels, so they're showing behind the scenes stuff. They're showing practice. Like I'm watching Deion Sanders' son has like this well off brand where he's posting stuff too. Like I am engulfed. I am steeped in Colorado stuff right now, and I
I
hope they
can't.
keep it up.
I didn't know they had YouTube channels. I've been like purposefully limiting myself to Twitter content only
There's
because
so much.
if I get into it, I'm not going to be able to function. Like that they'll become my BTS, okay? Like, I can't do
Colorado
it.
is already my BTS.
Oh
Shedeur
gosh.
is Shedeur is my Jungkook.
Wait, so then what does that make
Travis
Travis?
Hunter is my V.
Oh wow, you're putting him at V?
Wait, hold on.
Hold, no,
Let
no, no,
me
no, wait, hold
wait.
on. If we're
I
making the
need to examine
comparison, he
that.
actually might be V. Because remember, V has like a very sweet, like soft boy look, but he's got the deep voice of the group. So it's like he plays both sides.
I think you might be right. That is like one of the best compliments that you could give someone, to
Facts.
say someone is V. Oh my gosh. The highest acclaim to Colorado and
Lucky you.
BTS.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm excited. Let's get into the episode.
Okay, should we do our intro? Who are we?
Thanks. Yeah.
Lena,
Yeah.
what's I already said your name. Hi, I'm Kiara.
Hi, I'm
We're
Lena.
no, we're doing it in the wrong order, aren't we?
Are we? Do we have to have an order this time?
I don't
Everything's
know.
off kilter. Everything's off kilter.
We're so like discombobulated because
I
Colorado
am.
gets us so. I just can't. I'm pumped.
I'm excited. So,
Hi, I'm Kiara.
and hi, I'm Lena, and you're listening to Take It to Go, a one stop shop podcast about all things life, love, and LOL worthy.
Now, as much as we'd like to spend the rest of this podcast talking about Colorado, at the end of the last episode, we did get a little bit into a conversation about AI.
We did. We did. And so,
Artificial intelligence, yep.
we decided today that ChatGPT will pick our episode topics, but we do have some on the side, things that we would like to talk about as well. But Kiara, if you would go ahead and make that choice.
Honestly, let's throw the script away.
Oh, facts.
Let's just wing it. Let's see where ChatGPT takes us.
Cool. Let's do it.
Okay, we need to come up with a great prompt. We're doing this live, by the way. We're doing this live. We need to come up with a great prompt. What do you want to ask ChatGPT to get our episode topics?
Whew. ChatGPT, we are. Are you typing it in? Okay,
I'm
so
typing it, yeah.
we are a two-woman podcast, not about sports. Please pick, just let's be straightforward. Please pick our podcast topic for today.
I think let's give it a little more information. What if we mention that we're like a comedic lifestyle podcast?
That's perfect.
A two-woman comedic lifestyle podcast. And we're just going to be honest and do it exactly what it says. Lena doesn't even know what it's about to bring up.
I have no idea.
Okay, we're going to read word for word what it says.
Oh gosh.
Today's topic, this is honestly, this is so good because I feel like we brainstormed this already kind of.
Really?
The topic today is the art of adulting, hilarious life hacks and failures.
Ooh, okay.
The description they gave us in this episode, you can discuss the ups and downs of trying to navigate the world of adulthood with humor and wit. Share personal anecdotes and stories of your own experiences with adulting, both successful moments and epic fails.
That's a very good suggestion.
This is good. Adulting is so hard.
It
One of
really
my
is.
I think the most relatable things I see about adulting is like as a 25-year-old, I'm not like I'm 25 years old, but really I'm like 4 in adult years. Like I'm a baby. I just started being an adult.
How's it treating you so far?
I think it's treating me pretty well. I in some ways like okay, I have a job, I go to work, I sit in the office, I do all those parts of being an adult. Other than that, like I feel like a kid. Like because I feel like I in like the best part like in the best ways though. Like I like doing things that society says that you hit this age so you can't do this anymore. Like
Mm-hmm.
not the other day, but like my brother, for example, had a birthday party last year, and we had my brother, who's like much older than me, and we had some kids in our family come over, and they started playing with chalk outside. At some point, I guess adults were told that you're not allowed to draw on sidewalks with chalk, but I did it, and it was a ton of fun.
So it's, yeah, no, honestly, I used to do that all the time. I would make the hopscotch boards out of chalk and then play. Like, when did we stop doing that and why?
Isn't it crazy? Like, we all have that like final day that we stopped playing outside, but we didn't know it was
Yeah,
the last day.
exactly. And I had like a big box of chalk too, like all the sticks that were inside, and it would just like dwindle down as time went on. And you just don't know when the last time is.
But like that's the thing I like about my brand of adulting is like if I found that box of chalk, I'd be like, okay, let's go play with chalk, I guess.
Yeah. It's a
And
very nice thing because it like gives you a sense of freedom. I think that's what we miss when we become adults. And like truly what is your definition of an adult? Because mine is like just being able to be financially independent in some sense. But right now, like I'm an adult. I have a degree, just like you have a degree from a very prestigious institution. And yet and still, like I'm back at school flying and I live at home. So it's like some people might not consider me an adult because I don't live in my own apartment and I
I
don't.
live at home too.
So it's like, yeah, like what are we doing? But I feel like that's our generation now too, because just the state of the economy and different things, like it's hard to afford these apartments. It's $2,000 a month or more where I
Yeah,
am in Nashville. So, I'd rather stay at home and do what I need to do to get to, get the rest of my education before I,
yeah.
completely break off from my parents. I
I
know
can't
my dad.
believe that like Nashville is hit with 2,000 for one bedrooms.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
it's
even want to look at
ridiculous.
what it is for New York. I know it's just
Shivers.
it doesn't even make sense because every once in a while, like I do the thing that everybody does. Like at least I think a lot of people do this. You'll go on Zillow and sort of just like imagine what it would be like to have $10 million to buy a house, right? You just sort of let your eyes wander and dream and imagine. And I go look at apartments sometimes. I look at the ones that are for sale, the ones that are just for rent, and I'm like, who are the people? Like
Who buys
who is the
that?
person who is buying the $900,000 studio in Turtle Bay? Like
I
who?
don't
Like
know.
who is that person?
I
Is it
want to
just
be
all
that
trust
person.
funds?
I need to be that person.
I mean, you're like a pilot. You're gonna be that person. But for the rest of us, like
Stop.
who are the people who can do this?
I don't, and that's the thing is like I don't know. I know like right now since we're on an AI episode, like I go on TikTok all the time and I look at these accounts of like the AI dream homes where
Hmm.
it says like $35 million home in France and in a factory or something. And it's like you look and you scroll through all these pictures and it has the nostalgic like music playing in the background. And it's like, whoa, this is so pretty. This is so beautiful. But then like you can't even tell that it's
That's not
fake,
real.
that it's not real, but it looks so real. And like soon enough, like I'm using these things to plan out my future home because I'm looking at the windows and I'm looking at the furniture and the layout and it's beautiful. Like if I could be that person, when I become no, you know what? When I become that person, when you
That's right.
become that
Period.
person who's who has millions of dollars to spare and we get our nice penthouse or $35 million a year home, like
30 million a year.
35 a year because they're going to be that rich. Why did I say that?
Gosh,
$35 million
that's
period
the
home.
home, not a year. I mean, in
But
this economy, we're not so far off from that.
honestly, because like we're not going to be able to own anything in the future anyway. I mean, everything is,
Honestly, like for so many people, it might as well be 35 million because like if if you can't afford $1 million home, like what difference does it make if it's 35? Like you can't afford it either way. It doesn't even make a difference for you.
yeah, I'm filing bankruptcy whichever way it goes. So, like,
Right?
come on. So, I just say, like, I think there's a certain aspect of, I guess, you just have to kind of believe in yourself. And to get to that point, and then also just be like, but you can't say like, oh, just save your money because you're not even making that much money in a lifetime anyway with an average job. So you really
Right.
have to do something special. You have to do something completely off the cusp to get to that point.
You have to be extraordinary.
And what you do, you have to like pick a passion, and it doesn't have to be just one thing, but like find your passion or passions and really pursue it and go at it unapologetically.
My question for you is, so many people, like you said, like love those AI slideshows on TikTok. We see the AI like hot guys, like those like fake
Yes.
photos that they'll make on, like, I don't know, like Mid Journey or whatever, that show like what it looked like to be in a Goldman Sachs office in the 90s or whatever. It's like all AI guys. And I'm wondering, like, do you think people create these things and get so like excited about them because they just see it as fantastical, like something that they could never achieve, and so this gives them like a little feeling of what it might be like? Or do you think people use these AI generated fantasies as aspirational?
I mean, I believe it's aspirational. And let's say like outside of the AI attractive men or women that they generate, let's go even to like LinkedIn when everybody was doing their LinkedIn profile headshots through AI. It's Kiara.
I
But it's
never
like
actually made it my profile pic. They were all terrible.
my thing is some people actually do. And first of all, you can tell. So if you do have your
You can
AI
tell.
picture, like you look like a bot right now. But soon you won't be able to tell. It'll be so seamless, so beautiful. And you have to think about like what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? How does it get that intelligence? It pulls together information from the thoughts, feelings, opinions of all the people that interact with it. So when you're on your little chat bot, and you're telling it everything that you love, everything that you dislike, everything that you want, it
Hmm.
stores that somewhere out there in a cloud, somewhere out there in a big computer database. And then what? Other programs get made, other AI gets made, and it sends that information. So it's a conglomerate of what everybody views as as necessary in their life or what they want in their life or their dreams or their goals. So you're going it's aspirational. It has to be aspirational and inspirational for these people. It's like everybody's posturing because there's no other reason why you would use AI to alter the way that you look, the way that you feel. I mean, heck, I could go on here after we film this episode and put a full face of makeup on. Right now I'm barefaced, but I could put a full
Yeah,
face of makeup on and it
same.
would look like I'm wearing makeup just through the editing that I do on this video. I could take
I
in
th-
my cheeks. I could like make my shoulders broader or slender. Like there's so much that goes into it nowadays that AI is just going to be completely insane and scary when we get into the future because you're not going to be able to tell what's real and what's fake.
I think you mentioned something earlier that I do want to go back to, and it's that, oh gosh, what did you say? It was something good.
Was it about
Well,
the so first AI men, inspirational, the LinkedIn profile photos,
it'll come
not
back to
being
me.
able to tell things that are real and fake, deep fakes?
Okay, yes, that's what I was talking about. We didn't even talk about deepfakes, and like, okay, we're
I
on
was
the
learning. I
same
was on the
wavelength.
same wavelength as you. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is that, like, we're kind of like in the beginning of AI, and yet, like, did you have any anticipation that we would be so good at identifying stuff when it's fake? Like, I remember like people were really freaked out when a lot of the deep fake stuff like started propping up with like different videos people would edit on Twitter. And now I feel like, at least where AI is right now, like, I almost never see something and find out that it's AI and think, "Oh my gosh, you kidding me? I had no clue." Like, a lot of the stuff actually looks artificial in some way.
Right. It
You just have to
does.
know what to look for.
It does. But I think that that's the key ingredient is that if you don't know what to look for, then you're going to be fooled. And what's the point where that key changes? Like back to the house example. When I'm looking at these dream houses, it's like the landscape in the background out of the window will be different. They might say dream house in France, but it's a New York skyline. And then they get that fixed. So then now, okay, dream house in France. Now it's the French background. But then you're looking, and the only thing that I can tell is, oh, well, the faucets don't look right. So then when they fix the faucets, then what's the key that I look for? So I think that that's the progression in the of AI that you're going to have to be aware of later on, and that's what's going to fool most people is what's the key, what's the thing. It's like Inception, right?
Yeah.
The only way that he could tell that he was in a dream was to spin that top, and if it kept spinning, he was in a dream. But if it fell over, then he was back in reality. Soon you're going to have to find a trigger like that, and I don't think it'll be noticeable not in an online platform.
No. And like you said, like it is like obviously like some people think it's quote unquote smarter than like ChatGPT, like definitely has more information than like the average person has. Even like a exceptionally smart person has. And yet still, like you said, because it's pulling data from what we give it, in some ways it's a reflection of us.
Right?
And I wonder like which parts of us as a society are being reflected into AI. Like I know a lot of like there's certain questions that you can ask Chat GPT that it will say like, hey, like I'm as an AI, I'm like ethical and responsible. I can't like talk about this sort of thing. Right? Like when I
Right.
wanted to ask it how how you can find guys who are like have like awesome careers and it's like, oh, you should just, marry for love. You should never want to marry a guy because he has a good career, which is obviously ridiculous. But like I just like wonder like what sort of societal changes in like 5 years and 10 years would change the output from AI that we get.
I honestly, I don't know because I think it would be a matter of changing the input, but I don't even think that you can change the input because then it would take away that group that of where you get all of the information from that makes it so realistic, that makes it so enticing. I mean, I even saw on Instagram today an article about kids who are using AI to turn a 3 hour lesson into a 10-minute review that helps them pass their tests. And people are marking it as cheating. Well, is it cheating or is it efficiency? You find a program
Right.
that just knows all of the keys to good study habits, to um, good summarization, to efficient, just I guess tricks of efficiency for studying, doing anything that you want to do in terms of academia. And they give it to people and they give you these tools. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you shouldn't, like, that's not correct. That's not moral. Like, you should have to sit through a 3 hour session. Like, to break it down into 10 minutes is terrible. And it's like, why? Why is becoming a more efficient society terrible?
I think I was talking to my dad the other day, and actually I think my cousin was there too. And he was explaining that he gets very irritated whenever he hears his children or people say that they're bored
Mm,
because there's too much that you could be doing at any given moment to say, oh, I'm just bored, I have nothing. And
hmm
I think the fear that I have personally when it comes to like people relying on AI to just distill everything down into like easily digestible nuggets of info is that we're losing our attention spans, like in a
um,
serious way. Like there's so many people who joke around and say like I can't even watch movies now because of TikTok without like Minecraft going in the background because they have like those split screen TikToks where
yep,
like on one half someone's playing Subway Surfers and on the other half someone's telling a story.
right.
And I think that like that probably like affects the way people interact as adults, like the way people want to date each other. They are so accustomed to having things so quickly on demand that like they don't want to meet people in person. They don't want to take things slowly. Like everyone wants like that instant gratification. And I think there is some merit to doing things slowly, not just because you can appreciate the beauty of the process of learning something or critically thinking through something, but just because like people just can't like be in their own minds in their own solitude for 5 minutes. Like they just constantly have to have some sort of engagement and input. This is not really AI specific, it's like tech in general. That to
Mhm.
me is like the only thing I would push back on in terms of like why it would maybe be better for a student to have to learn about something and the intricacies of it over 3 hours instead of just like pulling out the biggest main idea parts in 10 minutes.
Right. I guess that's the thing, and I like what you said. It's not AI specific, but it's exacerbated by AI. And I do see your point. I think back to when we were in school, and I don't know if you had Spark Notes for
Oh,
literature
of
class.
course. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Right. And so it was one thing where you could tell the kid who went to Spark Notes, who got the main points that they could be prepared for discussion and
Mm-hmm.
easily, like, yes, you were prepared. Yes, you knew what happened in the book that you were reading and you were able to present it to the class and do what you needed to do to get that passing grade. But the ones who read, you were able to dive a little bit deeper in terms of your critical thinking because you made these unique connections, possibly to your own life, possibly to external factors that related to the book or related to the situation at hand. So I can see that like that critical thinking, that
Mm-hmm.
personalization of critical thinking would be lost or could
Do
potentially be
you
lost.
do you know how or like if or how AI is currently affecting the airline industry or flying?
I don't I don't.
So many people for good reasons have some fear about how AI can like might end up replacing them, stealing their job. I kind of fall on the side of you can use it to enhance your job, but I don't even know like do you like are you in a AI proof field? I feel like flying is pretty AI proof.
I think it's pretty AI proof. I think maybe um like the ticket people, ticketing or the front desk people that you go to at the airport to like, hey, my ticket is wrong or whatever, like that could be computerized and automated in the
Sure,
future.
for
But
real.
I think with pilots, I think we're okay for now. Drones are the factor that would be scary for me because I think drones could possibly take that role. And it's
AI drones
easy.
sounds terrifying.
It
That's like
does.
the plot of a horror movie or a sci-fi movie.
I would think that drones could be controlled remotely, but I would wonder how ethical that would be to have somebody sitting remotely controlling a plane full of, 200 people going across the
Hmm.
Atlantic. Like I just don't see that happening anytime soon. So I feel like the actual act of being a pilot is safe. What about you? Do you feel like your marketing job might be in danger?
I think for some parts of marketing, like copywriting could be at risk, but if you use ChatGPT enough, and I've used it just like in my personal life for fun, like asking it to write essays about different things to see how it can argue both sides of something. To me, just like we were saying about like you can pick up when a photo or image is AI generated, I can
Mhm.
like maybe it's just because I'm actually using ChatGPT when I search, but like I can pretty easily tell like this is not high quality writing, this is AI generated.
Right.
So people think that copywriting is really vulnerable, but to me, like at this point, like the version of ChatGPT that we have, and I paid for like the ChatGPT 4 for a little bit, and now I'm not paying for it anymore. But at least like the ChatGPT 3 is not up to snuff to replace even like an average marketer at this point.
Okay.
Not for me.
That's good.
I could be wrong in 10 years, but in 10 years hopefully
Yeah.
the podcast is taken off and I won't even
We're
have to worry
safe.
about that.
Yeah, we'll be safe at that point. I could see that. I definitely do think that the communications field is a little bit more at risk um, in the future because, like you said, once things get better, once things get more seamless, it'll be easy to replace that role because you have a program that can do literally anything and everything. But right now, we're in the clear.
I think that's interesting because conventional wisdom might say, okay, well, this tool, AI, is like freeing up all this time for me to do other things. Maybe that gives me the liberty to live the adult life that I want to live,
Mhm.
and I'll have the freedom to work from other places or travel more or pick up my hobbies or do whatever it is that you want to do as an adult. But on the other hand, like, you still have to like actually make money so you can
Right.
support the things that you want to do. I think, yeah, in the end it'll be a net positive for society, but uh, not without some growing pains probably.
I just hope that the time that AI does free up for people, they use to actually do something productive and conducive to help with society, help themselves, their families, like do something that's positive. Because it's if you get all of this time and you don't use it for anything except to sit around, laze around, be on social media, do nothing in a sense, like what is it for? It's for nothing. Then you just wilt away and waste away and you're essentially nothing because you're not contributing anything to yourself or to others. So I think that's going to be a big challenge, especially for our generation, is to actually be be proactive because we're that generation where we're told what to do and we just do it.
Really?
I
Wait, could you
think
give me an example?
like our whole education system is, you know, learn and regurgitate. Like you're not really
Yeah.
learning, you're just receiving information to spit it back out and then you're not retaining anything. So really it's just this is what you need to know for the test. Do this and you're fine. It's not how do you critically think on this topic like we were talking
Hmm.
about earlier. Like you just that's something that you have to train or be accustomed to through your behaviors and your actions and we're not that. And so I'm just worried about our generation in that regard.
I think critical thinking is a lost art. And this is like a very online thing. Like, everybody who's got an opinion about something thinks that people who disagree with them are not critical thinkers. But truly, like, I feel like you said, because our education system is so geared toward just retaining enough until the end of the quarter, and then like I could just fill in the blanks with some new information so I can keep passing and get my A's or whatever. That to me doesn't actually help people or prepare people enough to be really smart functioning adults. To me,
Mm-mm.
like, the experience that I look back on that has been most helpful in teaching me how to speak, how to interact with people, how to defend my ideas, how to understand and uh, be able to explain ideas that I don't agree with is debate. I was a big debate nerd in high school. And that's not just like about the topics themselves that you had to debate, but like you actually had to take time to like construct arguments and write and read and listen to people and like know when to push back, know when to let certain things slide. And I think that sort of like more hands-on, real world way of educating yourself
I do
is
too.
way more beneficial. And I feel like that's like not even uh as prominent as it should be in college. Like, I did it in
It's
high
not,
school, and I never got to debate anything or anyone on anything in college. Maybe it's just the major that I chose.
but it should be. I guess it should be a staple across all sorts of backgrounds. I mean, and majors and interests that you have in college because it is important. I mean, you go out in society. What do? You talk to people. You
Yeah.
have an idea. You're an engineer. How do you present it? How do you defend it? You have to know these things, and I think that it's just so sad to see people now that legitimately cannot like or just are so bad at it and I mean everybody's bad at something. Like I'm not the
Yeah.
perfect person to talk or to speak or do any of that, but if you keep working at it you eventually get better or you get more comfortable with knowing who you are, how you are as a person. Some people just aren't good at doing that in general and they know that, but they're smart in other things, so it's like you find your path and you go that way. Wow, this wraps up pretty well. It goes back to what I was saying about Deion Sanders. If you're not a football player, if you don't want to be successful, if you don't want to be D1, get off the team. But
Mm,
it's okay to be told that you're not good. It's okay to accept that about yourself and go find something else because you might have another path that's waiting for you, that's sitting there.
yeah.
So,
Like, you could go be, like, the greatest consultant of all time.
and you would have
Why
never
are
known
you,
if
like,
Dion didn't tell
playing
you you
linebacker?
sucked. Yes.
Exactly. Now they
Yes.
can go be, like, the person they were actually meant to be.
That's refreshing. Okay.
One more thing about Dion. This
Okay.
is great. So they don't have captains at Colorado. If you look at their jerseys, they just say L and D
Okay,
for
what is
leaders
that?
and dogs.
I love that. I was looking at it at the game. I was like, "What's an L? What's a D?" Like,
A D is a dog. Like, he's
he is
got
a
two
dog.
dogs. He's got two leaders.
That's awesome. See, we love him. All
Everything
right,
comes full circle.
comes
Everything
full
is turning up
circle.
Colorado. Even this
It's
podcast, we can't help ourselves.
we have to have a Colorado title. It has to be. I'm putting the like logo in the front on our cover photos because Dion is going to be like photoshopped in the back behind us. You know,
For real, like, maybe
I,
we can make a thumbnail for the YouTube video that just shows us next to him, and no one's gonna know, like, what in the world. They're just gonna see his face and click.
everyone, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We really appreciate you for being here. Speaking
This
about
was fun.
AI,
This was different. I had no idea where this was going.
neither did
I mean,
I.
I knew it was gonna come back to Colorado, but I just didn't know how we were gonna get back to
I
Shedeur
know.
and Dion.
So we're so excited. I I hope we can edit this before this game on Saturday because that would be great. But if not,
We're gonna get it up for sure.
everybody's gonna see what happens. We're excited. I'm excited. I know Kiara is excited for the game. I just cannot wait. Hopefully we can be at Stanford. But those hotel
Hopefully.
tickets, you people are whack, Boulder. You're whack because charging $1,000 a night, honey. I have to pay plane, the game, and your hotel fees. No, mm-mm. So
Mm-mm.
if anybody has
We
a
need
place,
someone in our audience who's got a hookup, who's got a connection, who, like,
please.
works for Hyatt or something, who's like, yeah, I got, like, my hotel night perk. Come on, come take it. That's what we need.
That's what we need. So if that's you, please reach out to us. You can contact us by following us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at Take It To Go Pod, or by emailing us at takeitToGoPod@gmail.com. Did I
All
say that too
right.
fast?
No, I think they got it. You can listen to it back on, like, 0.5x if you need
Please.
if you need a recap.
And you can follow me, Lena, at Flying with Lena on Instagram.
Or you can follow me, Kiara, on TikTok, Instagram at the Kiara Danielle.
So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on our next ride.
See you on our next ride.
Bye.
Bye.